Okay.
We are recording.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so what I would say, thank you. It's a pleasure to be together. And so what I was saying is that my whole adult life has been focused on awakening and exploring and studying what's going on this planet that is so dissonant, why it's so dissonant, and what it would take for all of us to awaken together and for us to live in balance and harmony. And so in thinking about, as I understood it, Radagast, today's focus was on the to look at our goals.
Well, that was something I had originally put out, and I had discussed it with the ambassador yesterday, and he said, well, of course that's good, but I mean, part of this is he really wanted to get for people with Meet the Ambassadors, and because at least one of them is a first timer, and
sure.
And this is to get a sense of where people are.
Okay.
But if you want to talk about goals, please do. That can be.
It would be a way I could encapsulate what I see and also what my vision, my personal work.
Please do.
Actually, my wife and I's personal work is about. So I just scratched out some notes. Pardon me while I read from that. In the short term, of course, we need to feed, clothe, house, and educate people. We have to give them jobs that are purposeful and mutually beneficial. And simultaneously, we need to be deconstructing and repurposing the existing institutions into peaceful life and biosphere stewardship. And that includes banking, energy, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, medicine, probably just media, everything. In the medium term, and this can begin right away, almost everybody on this planet has intense stress-induced or trauma-induced dysfunctional patterns in their nervous system, psyche, and relationships.
Oh, yeah.
And also we're all conditioned to imagine we're separate from one another, from the earth and from the divine, which of course is not true. And that's the core issue that we're all facing. And that's the issue that's been at the core of my life's work and my wife and I's life's work. And that's where we feel we can be best utilized. We're both trained psychotherapists. We're both trauma trained, and we are also, frankly, awake.
We work spiritually.
And we work spiritually. So in the medium term, there needs to be education into our true history, into the nature of reality, into the nature of our minds, who we actually really are, and that we all are expressions of the same one, in the same sense that this is one of us and this is another of us, but it's the same hand. We're all of the same. And that transcends and integrates all the adopted divisiveness of that the cabal has conditioned us to see one another through. We also have to know how reality is constructed and decoded into this appearance of separation and the illusion of reification, because, we all think we know what a tree is, for example, but what's a tree without the heavens, without the water, without the earth, without the forest it came from, etc.? Nothing ever is separate from everything else. And knowing that intellectually is a good start, but beginning to realize it and embody it in our experience and expression of ourselves completely transforms our relationships and our experience of the world. And that's the work that I'm most interested in. Eventually, as I see it, our species is moving into a collective consciousness. It already is a collective consciousness, but a conscious collective consciousness. What the law of one entity, Ra, calls a social memory complex. And people who are close to one another, like my wife and I, we've been together for 24 years and working on ourselves and together on ourselves. People who are close to one another discover that as they become more at ease with everything within them, even their shadow side, they become much more telepathic with one another. And I believe that's our destiny. I think the internet is a symbolic way of representing to ourselves our interconnectedness.
I agree.
Let's see. And eventually, individually and collectively, as we stop reifying all the imagined separate things, we'll be living much more in the field of being as a subsystem of that same field, not separate but unique and interconnected. And gradually, this is what ascension is about, the returning to our light body. So that's my vision. And
it's a very good, John, is a very good vision of peace.
Yeah.
And, I'm always happy to have you and your wife with us, and I don't feel that I need to contend too much of what you've been saying, because it makes sense. And, I'm happy to have you here, both of you. And, very good. And so that's why we created this special forum here, is to engage with each other, so that I have a possibility to engage with you, but mainly that I can listen to you and the advices that you give to me, so that, so that basically can be given further to, the family, to everyone else, to see what's really going on this planet, and see how we can work together to make more peaceful and a better place. Okay. And the people that have been invited, once joined this forum, will always be invited back to the forum. And so this is the tradition that we do, and we'll build up this little think tank here where we can sit and share our views, and hopefully more people, will be attracted to do the same, and that will build up this, little new, what's called consciousness with each other, and, make a better world. Okay. Thank you very much, John, as always.
Is it okay if I add something to this?
Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
Hello.
Go.
I just want to kind of break. John has a really big vision, and part of my participation is to break it down into some kind of practical reality of how this can manifest. And we have an interest in creating a center of some kind that can facilitate the awakening of consciousness and helping people through the shadow conditioning material to allow them to embody that. That my interest in my full passion is to address the root problem of what's going on, the imbalance on this planet, and to address the root. And I was listening some yesterday, and many of the wonderful proposals, which I hope many of them can manifest, still to me, we're getting exactly to the root of the problem. And that's what John and I are most interested in. The root is the belief in separation, the confusion about what we really are, the ability to first recognize that and then to come to embody that we have to be in connection with our true nature in order to change this planet.
Sure.
And so we want to facilitate that and use all of the skills we've had, in 30 years of working as a spiritual psychotherapist and teacher to be able to facilitate that. So that's what we're wanting to do.
One more piece, and that is that in the vision that we're having, we're seeing this center as a place where people can get so well embodied within themselves that they can go out and facilitate it for others. And so it's a template that we're hoping to create that will make it relatively easy and relatively rapid for this to spread, because the truth is, it is our nature. And it can spread like a virus as soon as it's begun to be acknowledged. And the sooner more of us are awake, the sooner it'll be literally impossible for the dark to have any hold on this planet.
I will come to your center too when it's ready, okay? I need to make those receipts and counseling.
I would be pleased to have you join us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So who is next in line? Radagast?
It would be either Sienna or Christine.
Sienna first.
Yeah. I'm going first, Radagast.
Okay.
All right. Well, first of all, that was incredible. And I am so in alignment with what you two just said, that there might be a real collaboration in the future. Ambassador Radagast, first of all, I thank you so much for creating this space for us to connect and come together. And I've written a little thing, it's not too long, but I wanted to super laser focus on what we're about, what we have to offer, so you can get a good feel for us. And so if you wouldn't mind, I would just like to read this piece and then ask the questions from here.
No
Okay?
problem. You're welcome.
Again, True Vision of Peace and Ambassador, thank you for setting this time aside. And again, I'd like to laser focus and get to the heart of our offering and our questions. If you do not object, then I'll just read.
Please do.
I'm Sienna Leah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have to say that I've listened to a great many of your talks and have been deeply inspired and touched by your spirit and your dedication. And that's why I'm here. I'm Sienna Leah, founder of Rise Multiversity. I am called lovingly their Mama Bear because I'm a space holder for the emerging change. I'm here with another Mama Bear of Rise, Christine Anderson, who's founder of earthempaths.net. So you might want to just say hi, Christine, and let the ambassador know who you are there.
Yes, I will echo Sienna's words, and also John, and I'm sorry I didn't get the wife's name. It seems that we are all in an expanding moment, and thank you, Ambassador, thank you, Radagast, for making this possible, and Sienna, thank you for having me on the Rise Together team.
Okay, so we have other members of our team in the room as well. I understand that only one or two are to talk, but Jerry is here and Allison, and they are happy to engage. They're a participant in Rise Multiversity. So I've been listening again to you, Ambassador, with great interest and growing honor and respect. Firstly, again, I wish to thank you, such a bold and much needed stand to empower humanity at the grassroots. I know you're going through a lot to stay on course and to keep bringing your vision to remake the world in love. I cannot thank you enough for being who you are and offering this to us all. This is an unprecedented time of great awakening and simultaneously increasing global control, as we all well know. How can we roll out a new paradigm of love, compassion, and sustainable practices that honor what is sacred with our mother planet? I have listened, worked, researched, and attempted to manifest alternative new paradigm projects since the 70s. In the spirit of collaboration, freedom, and birthing the shift and change, I would love to share my experience for a minute of these well-meaning projects. Each one of them has failed due to the interference of Team Dark hitting on the wounds and shadows of the participants. This causes infighting, alienation, separation, division, and ultimately the demise of all these well-meaning projects. We have all been raised in the matrix control grid. Each of us carry pieces of its ill effects, limiting our ability at crucial times to engage without reactivity, competition limiting beliefs and fear. After witnessing this phenomena again and again and again, I have formed Rise Multiversity. We are dedicated first and foremost to educating future paradigm shifters in the basics of what is needed to stay the course and manifest our dream. We have discovered it is truly an inside job. We are so in alignment with the people who talked before, it's uncanny. We have grown together as an expanding, integrative community of truth manifestors dedicated to love, compassion, and radical self-responsibility. We are walking our talk, doing the inner work, helping others through Embody You groups, live interactive webinars, and courses that are up and running and have been for over a year. We are witnessing the birth and blossoming of awakening souls as they come together to see, acknowledge, and support one another along their sovereign journey. It is a beautiful thing to behold. We are filled with joy and gratitude, honored to help birth those awakening into leadership positions that we all aspire to embody. We're up and running, as I said, and with webinars, classes, and workshops. With an influx of funding, we would expand into a full-on new paradigm generator, offering a plethora of help and humanitarian aid, including, but not limited to, an alternative media network that educates in all aspects of new paradigm building. We recognize that the current media of lies and deceit running the world now must not be the only option. Our community is bursting with creativity as we drop the false self and reclaim our authenticity, honesty, integrity, and love. With an influx of funds, we will build content, games, apps, television, film, music, all ushering in this new paradigm to go viral across the planet. I've had the vision for a long time to offer children through media that are now polluting their perceptions, healthy video games, healthy interactive apps, to venture on the journey to own their shadows and burst through into who they truly are and what they have really come here to create. We will offer a full range of courses to help people regain the peace at the core by owning all that is within that no longer serves. We have the expertise. I have also spent 40 years in psychology. We have a team of counselors and healers already doing this in unison on fumes, but we're doing it. We have on board Indigenous elders and Ecuadorians. I, by the way, live in Ecuador. Indigenous elders of the Amazon and Ecuadorian healers and shamans and naturopaths ready to go into the jungle and alleviate the poverty and dead-ended reality these people have been forced to endure. We have counselors, teachers, healers, activists, web designers, administrators, and much more working right now in unison with our fundamental mission to own our darkness, transmute our darkness, integrate all aspects of our being. We have unwittingly internalized and then gained the skill and knowledge to rise, to manifest the shift through free energy, sustain. And we have people who are deep into every area I'm saying: sustainable food production, permaculture, sustainable community, alternative energy, energy healing, and much, much more. We are open to be inclusive to others here and beyond, to meld and combine and place everyone where they rightfully belong to achieve their full potentials. So that's a brief overview. We have a much more in-depth Prezi that we're going to show up with next Sunday if this is something that resonates. And my question to you, Ambassador, is how we can best move in alignment with you and your vision. And if, in fact, what I have been outlining here does resonate, and if you would encourage us to move on with a proposal, or if you have any sort of feedback at this time, we'd be very grateful.
Yes. No, I resonate with everything that you're saying, and I think that you have a wonderful voice. I would wish that you would join us in the True Vision of Peace TV also to give some of your lectures to reach out to the people and assist them. And also at the same time, this type of project is something that we really like to do because it's important for us, to guard our psychic health. And, I was, just talking now from my own experience. I had a aunt that passed away, and my uncle, he is survived by, was survived, basically now he's, after 2 weeks, he started realizing that, his wife is not there anymore. And I see how he's losing, his wish of living, and so on and so on. I was in with him today and giving him some special herbal things from China because he was falling down and hurting himself. And what I see, which is important, is that we need, as a society, to work together. We need love. We need the compassion of people. We need people to unconditionally help other people and neighbors. And, in this modern society, we have become soulless, as to say. People doesn't care about others. They only care about themselves. And we need to start thinking as a unit again. And I think this is a very, very important thing, is to heal your soul and your spirit and your body. And that should be one. That should be the illure of basically the high enlightenment of a Buddha consciousness, which they say in Buddhism. And this is very, very important. So I think that we have many faced that, for example, like technologies. The family do not have any lack of technologies. They have no lack of funds. What we have not seen is that people has a lack of will and a lack of faith. And I think it's important for us as spokespeople, the ambassador to them, and for the people and the bridge between us to basically recreate the hope, recreate the peace, recreate the spirit and the faith in the Creator. Okay, and this Creator is the Creator for all, not just for a small group of persons or people. It's for all of us, and we all go to Him in different ways, but we all end up with Him. So I think it's very, very important to find unity, to work together. And what you're doing and what your group are doing is wonderful, and you have my full-hearted support. And I hope to see more of you involved in True Vision of Peace too. And this is the forum that, to meet the ambassador here, is that it is so that I can hear what the people want to say and what they have to say, and see how we can integrate that in the new paradigm. And I think that you and your group is spot on in our vision. So I think that we all won. So thank you very much for your speech. And I will start just now moving on to the next. Who wanted to speak a little bit?
Christine, did you want to come into this a little bit?
Yeah, I would like to. I won't spend a lot of time speaking, even though I quite often can use a lot of words, because everybody is already speaking from their heart and from the same place that I speak from, which is from that heart center. So we're using words like templates, and we're using words like bridges. And I'm also seeing that we are understanding, reintegrating all the old templates of humanity, which includes our shadow selves. And as we're understanding that and integrating it, we're actually the new template builders. And Ambassador, thank you so much, because you used the word bridge. And I was just going to say that I see and I feel that we as a collective, collaborative group that understand these principles, I mean, we have embodied them to a great deal, are literally building a bridge as we go. And nobody can do this alone. We are together in it. And I've embodied and have reached a point in my own self where I really do understand the oneness of our nature. And once you really fully understand that, or we're always in a process of more fully understanding, you act differently in the world. It becomes a very natural thing to care for another, to reach out, to touch, to hold, to find that. And even those that suffer still deeply in the dark, or that are lost in the dark, those too are part of all of us. And so don't leave them out. And I honor the ambassador for, as Sienna said, the courage it takes to step forward in the face of this and to put a voice to it, and to be a place where people can gather. So thank you very much, and I'm honored, and it's a great pleasure for me to be part of this group here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. No, life is a struggle, and I always pray to overcome it. Okay, not for the struggle to end, but so that it gives me strength to overcome it. And because it's truly a struggle from time to time. But to spend the time with people like yourself is always an enjoyment for me and great happiness. So I'm very thankful for all of you to be here with me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I would like to interject one thing before I move on, if that's all right, Radagast.
No problem.
And that is that I've understood from other calls that I've been on that you're having some challenges with your teeth, Ambassador. And I'm not certain. I know you're very well versed in alternative medicine. Over the last year, several of us in RISE have gone to a doctor following the Hal Huggins protocols. It turns out, just like medicine and big pharma, the dentistry has been a huge misdirection of what is really required to heal. And we all have massive infection due to root canals that get inflamed because they're they're not supposed to be locking these empty cavities. They breed infection, it goes systemic, and the Hal Huggins lost his dental license, actually, and then died, probably was targeted, for bringing this out. And there are a number of Hal Huggins doctors. I had this work done in Cuenca, and cleaning out the cavitations where all this pus and infection is, cleaning out the root canals. This is a whole other world, and I don't know if you're aware. I would love to send you links and the potential to look at this, because it's hugely important if you're having those kind of issues. And again, I apologize if you already know about this, but my heart wanted to reach out to you because I had a similar thing. And now my health is so much better, but I had to do this radical alternative approach to get it handled.
Well, everything started after the time of my poisoning. I was poisoned, and after that I start grinding my teeth, and I start biting, and I start having problems with my teeth, and I've been having it since the time of that I was poisoned. When I was in China, I did have some special herbal things to take away the pain and cleansing away the diseases and so on. But now when I came back to Europe, this problem started again. I am in very good contact with probably the best university on the planet in Tokyo, which educating dentists. And the advanced techniques that's going, even like tomorrow when I gotta go in to fix this teeth, it's done by laser. So basically it's a laser dental surgery that I'm gonna go through. But what I see is that the dentist industry is a criminal cartel, and basically they hurt people more than they heal people, and the decisions making on to do the job is traumatizing, and and I hope that it's going to be a long operation for me tomorrow, about 2.5 hours. So I hope that it's really going to succeed to do what I need to do, and that I will stop suffering from it. And but I'm going to spend some time in Japan, and this technique that you said, I would really like to know what it is and find out about that too. But I will spend some time in Japan to basically fix this teeth situation once and for all. And so that's one of my plans.
Well, I could either send directly to you or Radagast, however you like. I have links, I have videos, I have important information I would like to share with you, yes.
If you send it to me, I'll get it to the ambassador.
All right, beautiful.
Anna, could you put it on the chat as well?
Well, I don't have them all, and I'd have to do the research, which would take me away from being present. So,
John, I'll
okay.
get it to you. I'll get it to you. I just wanted to say before we go to Virgil, who's next, that the ambassador had said something about us being ambassadors ourselves. And it was kind of like, the ambassador came in, and as we join the ambassador gets duplicated. And that is part of what this is kind of getting in on the program, so that as we network out, we're all representing the same organism that is growing. And
Yes.
we all become ambassadors. And as people start getting funded and start employing people, like the same outreach is all coming out, and it's all growing the new world and the new network. So that's what I have to say about us being ambassadors. And I'd like to call on Virgil. Virgil, are you there? I saw you did unmute your mic. No, I guess Virgil might have left us for a minute. Sanjay, would you like to say something to the ambassador?
Yeah, I will, but I was just thinking he might be having the same problem with the mic that I was having, so we might give him a couple of minutes and just he can type a note to say if he's having a problem.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Ambassador.
You could start. He's restarting this Virgil, so let you start, Sanjay, and then we will let him in after you. Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Ambassador. Listening to John and Christina and Serena and stuff is like, wow, like what we were talking about the other day. I've started working on a little thing that I was going to share on the screen, just to like start the energy moving. But like, wow, what a morning. Like the thing from the heart. It's so if I have your permission, Mr. Ambassador, can I just
Yes, no problem. Yes, of course. Please share with us.
Sanjay?
Yep.
Okay, please share with us. Oh, okay.
I'm learning this, right, I guess, at the moment, so
Yes, it's all tricky.
Please. Okay, so from the other day when we were talking about Mr. Ambassador with the education and how we're going to change, and John really, just hugged it really, really hard today about the same thing. I've come up with this thing where we need to have community hubs for people, like-minded people, to actually gather together and share, and that energy collectively will just blow this universe, not this just Earth. Again, we all share the same vision, heaven on earth, right? Peace and prosperity for all. But we are just scattered all over the place. We need to start using this forum that you've provided us as a hub. The whole mission is all the same: awakening divinity in human beings. We all are divine human beings, but a lot of people are not awake, and a lot are awake, and people are awakening at a very fast rate. Truth and free thinking, as we said the other day, for all. Global family, right? Like internet and travel has actually allowed us to be able to be united, putting the ignorance, as we talked about, with religion and race and all those things aside, because I'm sure if the truth of the aliens came out, everyone will forget that we are, you American, you Australian, you this, that, the other, and go, man, we are human beings and they're aliens. So some crazy thing has to happen in the world sometimes for people to unite. And then again, with the values of us all, we've all already taken the journey and transformed ourselves to transform our world. Self-refinement to the self will be the service to society. And those things don't really take any money, as I was saying the other day, that it's not all about the money, it's about us taking action, which 90% of the people have already done. And I love your 555, and this is just my take on the 555. Everyone knows the common thing, the 5 elements, the 5 senses, and then this is my addition to that with the 5 learning. Some people want to learn just to know the truth. Some people want to learn to take action. Some people want to learn to infuse, which is getting all the religions and races all together. Some people learn to just have peace, and others prosperity for the society. So truth, action, and infusion, where we mix all the race and religion together in this hub, where we don't have differences and we love the person, the divinity inside each other, will bring us peace and prosperity, which will equal sustainable future. And no action will get us nowhere. This leads us to what we had in the Vision of Peace thing, all the sections, which I've got to fill in yet, but like we have the 5 parts, which all of us are working on, some working on all the levels, some only working on some levels. But this is from the chat the other day. This is what I've put together, and it's a work in progress. So if you think I'm going in the right direction and more needs to be done, please let me know. And
it looks so. It looks like you're going in the right direction and understanding our points where we want to head in the future. So you're doing great job, Sanjay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Sanjay, it's interesting because when you laid out the is my mic on? Yes. Okay, when you laid out, especially at the bottom, the original layout of the elements was in the way that you presented. It's a cycle of tides. Like when Earth is the core element. From Earth comes air, from air comes water, and then from water comes wood or rainforest, and then from wood comes fire or our souls. So that particular layout was actually in the cycle of tides progression of the energy. The wheres was reconfigured by one of us to create an acronym, but the original layout in the blue that you have is the original layout of how the energy works through from Earth through to fire.
Yep, and that's the whole thing. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. We've already got that hub, the ambassador's website, which you guys have, and just to link everything into it. Because if you all start reinventing the wheel, it'll become more work. Whereas we've got a template. If we can fit into that and start working through that, we'll actually save a lot of time and energy, because we need to use our time and energy wisely into other things and generate projects. And the whole thing with having a hub, with John is talking about, and Christine and them are doing already in South America there, will actually start getting people into a place. As we talked about, there's multi-faith centers and stuff last time. We can't get into the education system because the education system will take too long to change. But having actual hubs all around the world, funded by Mr. Ambassador or through the group or through ourselves, will actually provide places where we could say, it doesn't matter. So if Christina's got some people from South America and Australia, they can just say, hey, there's a True Vision of Peace hub in Brisbane in Australia, and go and see such and such, and you can use that facility and do whatever you need to do. Like, we can talk about energy, how to achieve free energy, clean water, and all those things. And even if we have technology available, we can have them set in a area which is a technology and sharing area, where people can come and look and go, it's not just a myth, it's actually real. Mm-hmm. And same with people from, if I know someone that they want to send to US, I can go see Radgas, or Europe to see the ambassador, or in South America. So this is just the vision that I have, that we can unite as one through what we were talking about the other day.
Excellent. Very good, very good. So looks excellent. Very good.
So Sanjay, if you could stop sharing screen and we could call on Virgil. Virgil, are you with us? I do see his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's no mic activated. It looks like he's dropped off the call.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
So who is next in line?
Well, let me read some names of people who, it would be Elisa Figueredo, Jeff, Beth or Gary Morgan, Jackie Santizo would be one of the people who would be next up to speak. Are they here? All right.
Just a note, this is Virgil, and I just called in 5 seconds ago. My iPad locked, so that's why when you invited me on, I could not talk to you.
All right.
Great.
Well, please share your thoughts with the ambassador, and then if you have a question, that's how we're doing it.
Okay. Great. Well, first of all, thank you, Ambassador and friends, for this opportunity to join up today. This will be fairly short. I've become awakened in the last 4 years, I suppose, due to a fairly tragic occurrence, at least at that point 4 years ago. The last 4 years have been a time for much internal healing, and that's what has been brought me to this point in my life. And things that happened just prior to that event 4 years ago, I was starting to see things and visions and so forth, which helped sustain me and have led me on. And one of the things that keeps coming through to me, and it's quite interesting listening to the rest of you, is the focus on healing centers. I've been calling peace and harmony centers, and as I've been connecting with other people, it seems like that's a theme with other folks who are awakening to light up the world from a local point. And there's a lot of question as to how to do that, but I think it's really important. And there's some things that come to mind that I won't be redundant with my comments, but I think it's really important to somehow link the bright lights of the youth that are coming through before they get totally immersed in the systems that bind. And there's some youth that they have glimpses of who they are and what they are bringing, but they really don't have the tools to do that. And somehow taking those youth and facilitating their growth, encouraging their gifts, has to be something, in my opinion, that we focus on as well. And whether that's through the healing centers or the education centers, I don't really know how that's going to happen, other than I see it as being very important. And then as far as the peace and healing centers, from my perspective, they should be free source exchanges with fresh ideas, with ideas that help everyone and wherever they're located. I think that they should grab the attention of people that may not be awakened, and they need to be affordable, whatever those exchanges are, whether they're education, whether they're healing, physical healing, spiritual healing. They need to be accessible and supporting. And I think also it's very important to have facilitators as opposed to gurus. Many times I've been attracted to a certain subject in the last couple of years, and sometimes it's not quite affordable. And I think that if everyone has opportunity to pursue what is close to their heart and it's affordable, I think that will light up the earth much quicker. I just a few days ago was traveling through Honolulu, and I had some time between flights, and I Googled acupuncture and massage because I was feeling a little stressed, and I was so happy to connect with some new friends, and they have Sacred Healing Arts in Honolulu, and pretty small office, but they're people who are very committed to giving alternative health options. Very small office, but they are reaching out. A dentist happened to stop by. He was interested in their mission, and he said he does biological dentistry. And I didn't really have a chance to talk to him much, but what he did have to say quite resonated with the whole theme that we've been talking about and what's been calling to me. So I'm not pitching anything. The reason that I checked in today, I just came across the website through Sedona Connection, listening to a radio show a couple nights ago, and I wanted to connect with like-minded people and see where we can go from here. So that's, I don't really have any questions, Ambassador, at this point. Kind of just listening and tapping in.
Nice to hear from you, and there's a lot of good ideas that you have too that we also will take to our heart. And thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Rodriguez, thank you.
Well,
Who is next, man?
well, I could open it up to Lalani or Fred Pasner. Whoever puts their mic on first will be that person.
Can you hear us?
Now we can.
All right. Hi there.
Just to start out, it's just so rewarding and heartfelt to hear what people are saying today. I feel so compatible with it. And where I live, I don't have people much to interact with that have these kinds of feelings. And so it's great to have this long range outreach and be able to touch with other people who feel this way. It's very heartwarming.
Yes, and the very idea of there being a series of True Vision of Peace hubs opening up around the country and around the world is very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit like what we were considering doing with our positive conversation circles that we wanted to start in the Southern California area, which were for bringing a group of people together that the facilitator who we would train would help everyone there let go of any limiting beliefs, focus only on the positive, and whenever they brought up an issue that was negative, before the end of that meeting, they had to find something positive in it and promise to do homework for the next meeting of how that worked for them. And that the whole group was to help each other do that. And whenever they felt strong enough and committed enough to the positive ways, that they would also reach out to the community, either in joining groups already there or starting new groups that would help bring more positivity to the community.
Humanitarian projects.
Yeah. So it's more at the soul level and helping people tune in to the spiritual consciousness that's within them.
And we wanted to ask the ambassador if he had any comments on the Save Our Souls category and what he would see as most useful to be doing in that category.
I believe to save your soul, you need to have a relation, a personal relationship with the Creator in some shape or form. And that you basically are practicing what you're teaching. And that means basically if you supposedly are a person that needs to pray, you should pray. If you are a person that's supposed to do good for people, you do good for people. And basically live the way that you preach. So I believe it is a very important thing for us to save our souls. We need to guard our souls from negative influence and negative energies. Okay, so I really want the people to put the focus into their own personal relationship with the Creator, and basically through that act right and will, and giving, and then I know that your souls will be helped. You understand?
Yes, that sounds very compatible with what we were talking about.
We are the hands of the Creator. I mean, occasionally you'll hear people, when is God going to save us? I guess when God's hands get engaged in the saving, and that's us.
Yeah. Yes.
We are the agents. We are the, if God's Spirit is going to move upon this planet, it's going to move through people because things need to get done, and they will be done by our hands and our hands only.
Yeah, if we don't do it, we'll be missing out on a lot of things that God would have us have if we're open to it.
Exactly. Really, the world that we can all see is built by us, inspired by God, built by us.
Yes.
There's a quote from John F. Kennedy that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own.
Yeah. And to me, that's part of waking up. If we are, to live into the space of, we are gods ourselves, well, then we will be working like God would work, which is improving, which is loving, which is compassion, wisdom, And it's abundance, because we live on an abundant planet. It's the control of resources and by, shall we say, the power that be, and then maybe even a local level where sharing is not as obvious, and largely in the past that had to do, I think, with less networking. In the current world, with us being able to talk to any corner of the world electronically in real time, we now have the nervous system of the new world. And now it's about growing the sinews and the connective tissue and the full organs of what this new organism looks like.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Fred, do you wish to speak?
Well, thank you. This is very exciting times to watch all this unfold. And my partner, Bennett Gale, and I, Bennett's online on the telephone. And, I'm just wondering how particulars, the ambassador's taking on an amazing project of orchestrating all these wonderful thoughts that everybody has. And like with our project proposal, we're trying to be specific, but also as open as we can at the same time. And so I feel there's a need for, like, the one fellow had a bit of an outline for guidance. It's like raising a child. At the same time, you want to allow them to express their own individuality, but wow, what a dance that we're taking on right now.
Agreed. Well, I think for me, a big part of what we're needing to do by coming together is that we get the general plan, and then as we build ourselves into some form of autonomy, where it's almost like we become different organs in the body. Liver does one thing, heart does another, kidneys do another, but they're all sharing in the same organism. Like blood, the common fluid that feeds everything. And unless something really seriously goes wrong in the body, everything's connected, everything's interacting, and everything is dependent on each other, even though each piece is autonomous and has its own unique role to play. And so there's that real fine line of autonomy. Again, it's almost tying in with being part of an almost hive consciousness, not to freak anybody out, but that because the hive consciousness really, to me, is the creator. Okay, so that's where the hive forms, and then the autonomy as we reach out and individually look at our surroundings, where we find ourselves through the creator, and then adjust those surroundings to connect with, to create the new organism that's interconnected, but still has autonomous points where you're interacting with the people, but you still want to have a sense of your own autonomy and what's your turf. That's what's your overview, because at any point of management or authority is actually overseeing and making sure everything is correct and flowing smoothly and nourishing it, actually being a parent to it.
And also, your place where you have your project is a wonderful place.
Oh, yeah.
And I really look forward to go there someday and see it myself. It had very good energies coming out of that mountain. I really wish to go there and see it and jump on top of a tower and blow a shofar. That's what we need to do.
We will look forward to having you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. We live like right now. The reason there's so much light off my face is that the snow, we got the first snow of the year like last week. So it's just bizarre, the weather. And this brings to another question, as you're talking, Radagast, about our system, our physical system interacting with the world, is the condition of the world. And, here in America, we're very aware of the politics and the strong desire for war. And I look out, we see chemtrails every day. So we're continually reminded of the edge that we're on that could stop. Wow, it seems like we're right on that edge.
Yes, I agree. Well, this is where we are. I mean, this is the shifting point. And on the world scene, if you're really looking at what's happening financially with the BRICS nations and the AIIB, this is huge stuff, because we are a financial planet as far as the current structure. And so the financial structure shifting into something that's going to respect autonomy and look to encourage each point rather than control it. We see the bigger picture, and now it's really for us to create the small emotion. I feel like the larger encompassing commercial aspect of it, commerce is really the lifeblood of the planet, which is about each of us interacting with each other at any level of, again, it's about trade. I have this, you have that, and we want to trade it. It doesn't have to always be about money, but it's still, commerce is still trade. And it's this trading of everything, including ideas, that is what an organism will do. It's about all this sharing of information, everybody as much as possible being on the same page in real time about what we're doing and what is needed.
Very good, very good. So who is the next speaker in the line?
Christine had wanted to, had a question occurred to her that she would like to now pose to you, Ambassador.
Okay, very good.
Yes, thank you. I don't want to take the place of anybody else that hasn't spoken. I love everything that's being said, and I know that we're also here because we need to get down to some nuts and bolts. And some of the things that come up to me. I've been for the last 6 years deeply involved in studying how the cabal works, the financial aspects of it, the laws. Pretty much, covered, I would say, wide spectrum. And I would like to ask the Ambassador, and it is my apology if you've covered this on any videos I haven't heard. When money starts coming back into, comes out and starts being functioning in a system, how are we or us, going to make sure that it doesn't get funneled back into what I call the black budget?
That's basically my responsibility and my superior's responsibility to basically allow the funds to come in a certain way that they should not be hijacked and misused. Okay. And this is what we have been doing for the last many years now, since 2012, when the system lost its authority. We've been strangling basically the world economy for all this time and waiting for the people to remit and surrender. Now minority nations has remitted and surrendered, and we are in a time where basically we will be doing auditing on the funds that has been borrowed out that's be coming back, and then as you have seen also with some form of jubilees where debts is being signed off and so on and so on. And then also the funds is still being all the time used for projects and for things, but not in a such scale that it could be misused. But now we are in the side where basically we are going to do the grassroots projects, but we're going to do it in a controlled manner so that it also doesn't be hijacked or attacked and aggressed upon of the people. And also we have been creating a special workshop that that Crystal has been doing now and consulting with me about international project funding for outside United States, with more emphasis on the Commonwealth laws, which is in the old British colonies and countries and so on, has a different legal system than the United States has. But it's important for us to basically educate the people and try to use this platform of True Vision of Peace to educate people, support people, empower people, and follow up. And for the people that was very successful last week with the presentation of the projects and so on, and due to my health situation and so on, the attorneys will be start working on the files for the projects already on Monday and out the whole week. And so things are moving forward in a very good and positive way. Wonderful. I'm very happy.
Oh, that's great. I have one other question, and this is because we are, I'm actually in Mexico right now, but we are localized, the group that we have together, the short group. well, we're on different places on the planet where we envision building a center or a hub, as you're calling it. We've called it that too, is in Ecuador. And a lot of us were drawn there, and it's quite a wonderful a town that's brought people from all over the world, is because the original feelings were that there was a possibility for some disastrous events, whether it was economic or geological, on our planet. And I would like to ask the ambassador if you feel that this is an inevitability, a possibility, or is this something that you're also looking at too?
Yes, it is unfortunately a very real possibility.
Mm-hmm.
We have succeeded successfully actually to stop it a few times, 2012, and a few times after that. And we actually need to thank Vladimir Putin for a great job. He's done a great job as a true leader on this planet. And maybe some people doesn't like to hear that because he's Russian, but that's the truth. He has actually saved our lives over and over again, doing this since 2012 until today, with all these mad people wanting to create world wars and creating other type of problems. So he did a great job, and may God bless him for that, and may he continue to do that for humanity. But yes, it is covenants that has been signed with the nations, and some people have an idea that this so-called ignorant masses are worthy to stay on this planet, and it would be better for us to not have them here, and because they're so ignorant. And my opinion and my answer to them have always been that you are the ones that created them. So if that's the case, you are the ones that's supposed to be the first that we're going to get rid of. Okay? And so that's my opinion. But I believe that we can shorten the years of tribulations by our own actions, and I believe that we can eliminate these catastrophic situations that they want to create. And we need to have our governments and our leaders, and not and also the soldiers and military, to actually actively taking down all criminal activities on this planet and do their job. Very important.
Thank you. In total agreement with that.
John, Lumia.
Okay, it's Lumiere wins. I took my wife's name when we get married.
Okay, Lumia wins.
My pleasure. Okay, I have a thank you for that last answer. That's along the lines of a couple of my questions, or one of my questions. And it's just a practical one. Given the, the shifting of finances on the planet, I'm curious whether you would recommend buying Chinese yuan at this time, if I have any money to do so.
I should.
Okay.
Even the Russian ruble has been going to be the strongest currency next year.
Thank you for that. That may help us. And also, let's see, what do I want to say? Just that, in my processing of my own and my clients' trauma, I have sought out and discovered very effective ways to move people relatively rapidly out of their traumatic adaptations into a place where they can access and begin to express their innate strengths, gifts, and talents. And so this is something that I would like to, these ideas are something I would like to propose to be widespread, so that because virtually every family on the planet's been traumatized, and trauma is a multi-generational problem because it gets passed down from generation to generation. And okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is, one of the great blessings in my life is I have been led to discover my nature. And when I rest as this clear, open presence, it's always inclusive. And so no matter what the time, place, or circumstance is, when I rest here, whatever comes through is beneficial to me and everybody around me. And so I have a capacity to collaborate with people on any kind of problem, and in a way that's facilitative and supportive of coming to mutually beneficial solutions. Because when we're accessing the universal intelligence, the solutions that come from that are always universal and beneficial for everyone. So I just wanted to throw that in, and in a way, that's the direction that the center we're interested in creating will go, is helping people come into an experiential sense of our shared oneness so that they can live from that and be a beacon of goodness and wisdom and support and kindness in whatever they do in their walk of life. I guess that's what I want to say. It has been for me an extraordinary, great pleasure. I keep bursting into tears and laughter listening to each of you share your visions and your process. I feel like, I'm confident there are millions of us who've been waking up and or are now awake, and who have been working on different facets of this dilemma that our species faces for our whole lives, like I have, like my wife has, and like most of you have, or all of you, as far as I can see. And I'm sure, I am confident and sure that we will succeed in this. And I just want to share that. Thank you.
God willing, God willing.
Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeff Hull, do you wish to come in here now?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to everyone and hope the ambassador's doing much better today as we continue with our prayers for you, Ambassador. I guess one quick question would be on the different sessions that may be coming up in the future. If you could give us a little bit of a heads up on what type of sessions and so forth you may have in the future that we can participate in, and different things to do to help to go forward with the true vision of peace.
What we're going to do now basically is that we're going to continue to next week to start doing interviews with people when it comes to the True Vision of Peace TV. We want people that volunteers, that thinks that they have something to say and have programs that they want to do to empower people and give a message further to other people. That's something that I want to push on. At the same time, I need to do my normal work duties to talk with all different entities around the world that I need to be engaged with. But also we are pushing a lot forward with the project funding situation here, basically by setting these things into order so we can start moving on that as soon as possible. Now everything is in place, but we need to put the paperwork in place. So that's why I'm going to have decided to have workshops continuing to empower people, basically to learn how to set up the businesses, the corporations, and so on and so on. At the same time, then I'm going to do the pitch situation with to go through them and go, and see what needs to be done and assist them with that. Because in the next coming weeks until May, we're going to be very, very busy in trying to get all these things done. But I would like to have this forum that we have right now, is that, like you see, that when you once come into this forum, you're always invited to the next, okay? So this is basically like a think tank. This is a place where we meet, we engage each other, engage people's visions, and then take that to heart and then implementing it into True Vision of Peace. and we want to have the people to work together, basically, all of us, so that we can make the tradition of peace better, and that we can reach more people on the planet, because people can get quite tired of looking at Radagast and only hearing my voice from time to time. And I think it would be good for other people to see, like-minded people like ourselves that wants the best for humanity come here and express their visions and their ideas. And I think it will help a lot of other people on the planet to awake, also by your guys' testimonies and your own engagement. Mm-hmm. And we are too much sometimes hooked up in things that, oh, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. It's like someone sent me today a recorded telephone situation between some people in this so-called RVGCR world, okay, and Bond Redemption world. They were coming in there and wanted, that I should hear it and listen to it. And I was listening to it, and I saw it was so much, inconsistencies and wrong information, okay? And the problem is this way, that some things was quite close, but most of it was, very, very, for my judgment, working with that for all these years, you can say that this person is just playing a game with the people. But people doesn't understand that. And that's why it's very important for us to wage this war on ignorance, to put out the truth there, to be the truthers that tells how it is, what it is, to help the other people so they don't fall into these traps, okay? And losing their money and their houses and all the other things that comes with living in Disneyland. So, this is basically a little bit why I think this forum that we have right now is so much important, because here we can engage and we can talk with each other, and the opinions go, and people see that their opinions actually counts. It's better for us to have this type of forum and talk with each other here than to have just someone making a chat line underneath a YouTube film. Understand? Here you have the possibility to come and really make your voice heard and do some shift and changes in a world that is so much needed,
Thank you, Ambassador, so much for the information there, and I want to thank you so much for taking us forward in this huge vision, which just want to make clear that I'm here to help you or anybody else to advance your vision at true peace, at true vision of peace, and want to be participating in this any way I can to help out. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeff, and we will not forget you, and we would love to have you working with us.
Wayne Rhodes, did you wish to?
Good day, yeah. Good day to everybody. Thanks so much for y'all's time. Just a quick comment. I'm extremely excited to be a part of this. From the very beginning, it just resonated with my heart, and I see truth and integrity. And it's renewed in myself a sense of faith for humanity, because it wasn't very long ago that I just thought humanity was just destined to basically go through cycles of destruction. And the ambassador talked about faith. There's a faith in me that it doesn't have to be that way, and we've got a chance to make a difference. I'm excited about that. The ambassador said several times, "What will we tell our children?" Well, my daughter graduates from college in 2 weeks. She's so excited about the future. She's been to Asia several times, and she's got that youthful exuberance and excitement that we really desperately need, for humanity to help us through this transition. And what I want to be able to tell my children is join me. So thanks so much, y'all, and I'm excited.
Thank you much, Wayne. And I know how important children is to us. This is one of the most important things we have in our lives. And that's why I always say that what should we tell our children? So join us is a very good thing.
Dean, are you there? Dean is there.
Wow. Greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings, Dean. How is your mission?
My mission?
Yes,
it's right on target.
Yeah, some of you here have not met Dean yet. He he's a kind of like the big bear of goodwill. So Dean, go ahead.
Well, when I found out, Mr. Ambassador, that you liked cartoons, I thought, oh my goodness, you are going to love my work. Because I wrote a work, it was how to starve the dragon of revelations and get it back to a snake so it can play in the garden again.
Yeah, I think the dragon in the Book of Revelation. I think this is the people who are searching for a physical dragon there, I think has to search a little bit longer more. I probably never find it. Many of these entities, I think, is quite symbolic. You understand? And when that dragon will be in your face, which is this every single day today already, people doesn't even see it, And when people say, what's the mark of a beast? When it's 666 coming, we are here right now. Look at your ID card. You cannot do anything without your ID card and, or passport. So, we are in the world of 666, and the beast is very much here, and the beast is the financial system.
I know.
We talk about the one world religion that's supposed to be so dangerous. We have one world religion. It's called, it's what we see today, what we call the free market. Okay, that's the beast for you. And basically, people worship money. Okay, for people, money is their god. So, in reality, you have this, secular state, which is basically the foundation of Antichrist. And the control mechanism and worship mechanism is worship yourself and money. And basically that's where it is. So I think that instead of running after the dragon, we should maybe open our eyes and look ourselves in the mirror.
Well, it wasn't, I figured out what you do to turn the dragon back into a snake. All you do is lay seeds. You just don't feed the system.
Yes.
And if you don't feed the dragon, hopefully the dragon will come around and say, we want to go play with you.
Yeah, the dragons from the East and the dragons in Europe, we have some differences, In the Asian culture, they came with luck and goodwill, In Europe, the dragons came with death and kidnappings and other type of things. But it maybe symbolized a little bit our souls more. Maybe we in Europe were more evil and more wicked, and the Asians, had a better relationship with the dragons. And my ancestors, they used to have dragons all around them all the time. So, and they were not traumatized by them. So, I think that the dragon in the Book of Revelation, you want to see it, just look outside your door, just look yourself in the mirror, like I usually say. And, you will see it. The only thing we need to do is to try to find the way, how can we basically dispower this beast. And how to dispower the beast is basically not to feed it. Okay?
Exactly. Mr. Ambassador, I wrote 4 books on this and how to institute a new economy based on giving. And I got all the algorithms written and everything is in place to put it in place on a worldwide basis.
Very good, very good.
John,
you can read the books. It's like it wouldn't even matter if I stayed here or not because the books were written.
Very good. If you send them to me, I will be more than happy to read them.
I will get them photographed and then sent on over to you because I'm a really prolific artist. I tend to create a whole lot more than I ever take a picture of.
Very good, very good. No problem. Let's assume maybe we'll see each other in the land of the dragons.
Oh, it'd be great.
Then you can explain. Then you can explain it directly to the dragon yourself.
Okay, and then the machine that I presented, that is key to the restoration of the watersheds, the lands, and the bringing in of the new agricultural system, and that's in the books too.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
John, did you have your hand raised?
In fact, yes. And I just wanted to say, it's a quote, but I've come to love it. And it's, we will defeat the tyrant by showing them a pleasure greater than they've ever known. And that pleasure is the pleasure of our shared oneness. As we come into the recognition and acknowledgement of our shared oneness, there's nothing better than that. And from that, that's why I say it's inevitable. We can't lose because this is the direction our species is moving. So that's what I think.
I will tell you a story that is based of truth. You know, I used to argue with this demon, okay, that was in this person for years, okay, and then I realized one thing: the only way to destroy and dispower that demon was to actually embrace it. So when the demon stopped manifesting, I just went and embraced the person, and then it couldn't manifest anymore. So I think this is the way we need to deal with them. You know. Show them compassion and love, you know.
Yeah. Are there any other people who would like to speak? Put up your hand so I can see it. Okay. Christine? I saw your hand.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm sitting on my hands and I think, well, I want to speak. When I'm hearing the subject of dragons come up, and obviously the ambassador of the Red Dragon family, and my understanding of dragons is not that they're innately evil or good any more than any being is innately evil or good. It's the right use of force, it's the right use of power, and it's understanding the elemental forces that are the confirmation. That's what's conformed us, this universe and this multiverse. And so I agree totally, and I love what you said, Ambassador, when there is something of a force, or that what you call a demonic, that pure compassion, it melts in your arms, it melts in that embrace. And I think the more we understand that and don't have any fear left, we are really, truly, truly changing what's happening here on planet Earth, which has a ripple effect throughout the multiverse. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so John, I would just like, I really applaud, so many people here on the same thing, but you kind of made it your main presentation about educating people and releasing them from their trauma so that they can think clearly. Because one of the when I'm running into people who have a lot of blocks and who are even become aggressive sometimes, it's all based on places that they're stuck and traumas that they've been through and have now created kind of programs that they're just in response to. They're not really responding to the information. They're really more responding to triggers and traumas that they have, that they've had happen to them. John?
Yeah, I would just echo that I do a kind of work that maps what's going on in a person's brain and then reflects it back to them, and their brain can relax out of its stress and trauma-induced patterns, which tend to get fixed, because when there's trauma, whatever we did in that instant was associated with having survived, and so the brain tends to cling to and repeat that pattern again and again, even though it's not functional in the present moment. And so as the brain can relax out of its stress and trauma-induced patterns, it becomes we become flexibly responsive to life, and we recognize the connection that we actually have with life, with others, with the divine. And this is a part of the work that we do to facilitate people to come into themselves. So yeah, I absolutely agree with your agreement. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, two people have raised their hands. The first one is Sanjay, and the second one was Lalani's
Richard.
Okay, so Sanjay, you're first, and then Richard.
Mr. Ambassador, John just actually just scientifically almost explained the saying that you love saying is the Disneyland people look in the mirror. He has just explained that this blockage is the problem for everyone. They just keep putting blocks up and they go in this Disneyland, right? By removing the blocks, they can look in the mirror and reflect the things and it'll be all fixed. They keep aggressing, they keep doing the silly videos and all the other stuff instead of just looking in the mirror. John, keep the good work up, mate, removing the blocks. That is the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people get stuck. Sorry, you go, Ambassador.
No, it's important to dispower these cartoon characters because, the problem that we see today, okay, is that, most of our politicians I consider as cartoon characters. It's like Disneyland, straightforward. And, and I said to myself many times, have ever Sarah Palin, for example, looked up, can she stand looking at her, how ignorant she sounds, how ignorant she is, and the way the whole energy that she sends. And, me, when I see cartoon characters like her, I get frightened, It shows to me that, how low a world person can be. And, it's the same thing as, what is her name? Julia Gillard in your country. She's also a terrifying woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Merkel, I normally call her Mr. Merkel, but she's also another one that is an extremely, traumatizing person. But then when you look at all the other cartoon characters that is in politics, it makes me scared. Mm-hmm. And then you say yourself that, someone voted for these idiot people, okay? And that is basically, which is even more scary, okay? So what we need to do is, like I said so many times, we need to go look ourselves in the mirror and see ourselves, and then also look at the people, observe them, what they say, what they do, how they act, and then take a responsible choice when you're empowering people like that. You understand? And that is a very, very important thing. If we want to find peace on this planet, we need to take charge and hold people accountable. Very, very important. Okay? And also hold ourselves accountable and not blame someone else and ask someone else to rapture us. We can rapture ourselves by our own actions. Very, very important. And find a new, little ball where we can swim around, with less polluted water. And I think that's what we need to inspire to do.
Okay, Richard and then Sienna.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to say to all you guys participating in the session, I love you guys. You're just talking about love as the thing that's going to melt all of these problems. It's going to make the cartoon characters go scrambling and hiding and jumping behind their backdrops. And I know it's true that, like, everybody has been traumatized. And the power of love is, like, when it's real, unconditional, I want to help you type love, it affects everybody. I can sit and talk to an English class about comma splices, and if I can introduce just a little bit of love and self-confidence into their souls, they respond to it, and they're going to come back to me with the same energy.
Yes. Very good.
That happens every week in the classroom. I'm sure it happens for all of you, all my brothers and sisters who are on this event, who also have classroom and counseling and therapy experience.
Very good. Wonderful.
Sienna.
Well, I just resonated so much with what you were saying, the ambassador, about these really dark women of power. And so I wanted to share with you that I've written a book that's an expose of the dark feminine called Stealing the Moon. I would love to send it to you. It's I engaged in a 40-year research on the dark feminine by first and foremost owning my own shadow. And so we're finding out that more than just the trauma, there are aspects, because the feminine has been so repressed, the feminine meaning the beingness, the emotion, the sensitivity, the intuition, the psychic energy, that whole side of the human psyche in men and women have been demonized and shut out of our reality for so long. And and with the control grid, so much of our authentic energy has been suppressed, often at fear of death. And so now, as the feminine returns to humanize humanity, this is the process that we're engaging in. Well, we all are here sharing. And I've specifically done my research on, and RISE is formed on, not just to own trauma, but to actually own what's become of the beautiful treasure of our potential that has gone to the dark side. I mean, my book is about it's my story, a psychologist that was working to bring psychotics out of psychotic breaks who were without drugs and surgery. At the moment that she starts to bring the person back, she feels this fiery beast rising up from her core that wants to destroy her patient. And she takes herself out of her practice and goes deep into her own unconscious and traces it back through lifetimes to what happened to the feminine, to what happened to her own soul. So there's a resurrection of these aspects within ourselves that are crucial for us to manifest a new paradigm. And it's a huge topic and a huge story. I'm so in harmony with what everyone is saying here. But when you talked about these women who are not really women, I'm about to design a course with George Kavaslis called Natural Woman, which delineates the distortion of the feminine, which is we see everywhere, with what the natural woman who's emerging needs to become. So I just wanted to share that with you all.
I think it's very good that we have this discussion. I've been stating that in some of my other programs, but I will say it one more time during this program here, that people have been saying to me that, we need more women in power. And if women come into power, we're going to find solution. And I said, listen, who is the most powerful woman on the planet? Okay, it's Queen Elizabeth. Do you consider her a good example of a woman? Now, the second head of Illuminati, Beatrix, Queen of Holland, okay? Does she represent a typical woman? Okay. Then you look at the most powerful politician in the European Union, Mr. Merkel. Okay. Does she represent a good woman? Okay. Then you go and look at the Prime Minister of Norway, which is a woman too, but she's also not a woman. And the same thing there, you look at Sarah Palin, okay, which is a horrible person. And then you go on and then you look at, for example, people like Julia Gillard, or the leader of IMF, Christian Lagarde. All of these characters are wicked criminals being involved in all forms of crimes against humanity, killing and slaughtering people, human sacrifices, killing people and traumatizing them and living on their souls. And this is the women that are actually some of the most powerful people on the planet, actually the most powerful person. Like one person doesn't know, it is a secret leader on the planet, a secret leader, one that holds the most powerful position on the planet. And she's also a woman. Okay?
Yes, we've been calling her Queen Bitch, excuse my bad language. But this is a huge thing, and it's been part of my fundamental purpose to bring it, because we've been so starved for the feminine that what is very likely to occur, that the false light savior next will be a woman, big, loving, big-breasted, I'm a mama, come, I'm the feminine. Everyone is so starved for the feminine, and we are clueless, and we are really allergic to looking at the feminine shadow straight in the eyes. And it's definitely, my book goes into this in depth. I'm designing, my course, Shadow Genesis, is going to go into helping women identify this and face it. Because if we don't, we're in deep doo-doo in my humble opinion.
It was a prophecy said for about 1,600 years ago. It was saying that in the end times, women should be dressed but still naked. And men should be looking like women. Okay? And if we look ourselves in the mirror today, okay, then we see that this is actually true. Okay? Now, when you go and look at places like Instagram and Facebook with the selfish that these poor young girls are doing, they have to show their body parts and nakedness and things like this, and they think this is some form of empowerment for women. I think this is not an empowerment for women. It is the worst, disempowerment you can see, because that's if it's the body, the only thing that you have to offer, not your mind, you have nothing. So we should try to make the girls on the planet to basically be feminine, but at the same time, because they're smarter. I mean, look in countries like Iran, for example, Islamic Republic of Iran, you have so many university students, girls, more than men, going for higher educations. And, the sad thing is that some of them maybe ends up as homewives later on, but, they are very, very well in their thing. If you want me to talk about Hillary Clinton, she is also a traumatizing woman, okay? And, that's also another, I actually feel sorry for Bill Clinton. And I can understand maybe why he did what he did. But at the same time, okay, I think that it's not our business, because a relationship situation between a man and a woman is between them. The public have should not have any interest in their personal lives. And, it was a situation where one king here in Europe that was in many strip clubs, and he was doing this and this and that and having parties with strippers. And he was lying. No, I didn't do it. No, I was not there. And then the video films came out, and it was quite embarrassing. And the one with the videotapes later on was found dead, shot in a car. But still, the best thing he would do, my recommendation to him was to say that there's something between me and my wife. It's not your business. You understand? That's their personal life. I don't care about people's personal life as long as it's not hurting people. And this is the same thing. He said, one old man once said to me when I was a young kid, my old master's father, he said to me that drink, smoke, take drugs even, but do not disturb people. And, I don't drink alcohol and I don't take drugs, but it taught me something very important. It means you can do whatever you want to do for yourself, but don't disturb others. And, if people would live by that standard, we would have a much better world. That we should respect other people's privacy and respect other people in all different ways. And that's very, very important. And that's so much missing in our society today, because people today only care for themselves, unfortunately, and that's what we need to shift and change.
I agree with you, Ambassador. I really feel that it's our own lack of boundaries around our privacy, which has allowed the government to take away privacy without people noticing it, because they don't value privacy. And so something you don't value is very easily taken from you.
Yes. Anyone else that has some final thoughts here?
Well,
yes.
You had. Oh, sorry. You had mentioned that you would like me and others to join working with you. What would be the process to activate that?
It's very simple. You write in you have this volunteer thing on the on the internet that we have on the page. It's volunteer, yes. And then you just write down your volunteers and what you would like to work with. And then you just write there shortly a recommendation that you are a part of this program and that I invited you to join. So then the people that handles that would process that. And actually next week I will be doing some interviews with people that I would like to work with to set up programs, because I would like to have programs every single day in the week by different people where we sit and talk like we do now and engage and people basically, help to empower the people. And so I want to create an education network of True Vision of Peace where people can come in and help and assist people, because I think all of you here have so much to give to people, and I think it would be nice for us to be able to assist the people by allowing your voices to be heard.
So could we contact you directly on that, or do we work through Radagast? Or
Now,
just
you
go
can
directly?
you can speak with Radagast or with Crystal or with Natalia or anyone else in the team. I myself, I don't have my own email in Trovision of Peace. Most of the people write to me through the others, and then I basically talk with the people and then set up a meeting and so on. Because of my other work that I do, I'm too much overloaded, so I don't unfortunately have the capacity to read each and every mail. But Natalia and Crystal and Radagast, they read my mails for us. And, Ron also, we need to pray for him and hope for his fast recovery. He's now in a new hospital, supposed to have his heart surgery. And, we, our prayers and love goes to him and his family in these hard times. And, but he also used to always do that. People used to send him mails and he used to read it for me. And sometimes he set up ways that that people could speak to me. Okay. And so, we're going to follow in that tradition. And then, finally, when people is a part of the tradition of peace, then, of course, you will also have direct access to me more than in other ways. But that's the way to go, because all the process also with of security concerns too. But now we start learning to know each other, but the family is always very, 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 what's called protective for us. And so, we will do our best. We will do. So I look forward to hear from you. I think that you have a great contribution, as many others here on the program, to contribute to.
Thank you so much. Will.
There's two more, Ambassador. It'll be the phone number, that's 1530, and Dean will close.
Okay.
What is your name, 1530? Is that Virgil?
No, I'm not 1530.
Okay, who's 1530 that you had said you wanted, apparently you tried to speak before? There you go, you. All right.
Go ahead, Bennett. That's Bennett Gale.
It's Bennett.
Oh, was that me?
Yeah, well, we only have a number for you. So.
I'm with Fred. I just wanted to speak on, and in my other work besides this project that we've mentioned, I talk about unconditional reality. And it seems to me that what you're speaking of in terms of respecting each other's space and freedoms, that is under the banner of unconditional love, unconditional reality. And it seems to me to be, for what I teach, the foundation of shifting people into an understanding that we are working under a conditional finite paradigm, and that what we're shifting to is one of being limitless in an unconditional reality. And that's paramount. How can we invade other people's privacy from an unconditional perspective? And in essence, that's what my response is to what the ambassador was saying.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, Dean, you're going to take us out.
Fabulous. Peace, everyone. Mr. Ambassador, I just want to remind you that the project that I'm working with can be delivered within a couple of weeks. And Paul Stamets came up and just finished the research on how to prevent the bee colony collapse through the biological function that this particular machine would work. And then I have another research facility that I'd like it put on, and the timeline for manufacturing this is 120 days. I want to just remind you, because this is an important biological and mechanical process. We have all the doctorates behind us, so we're ready and rocking, ready to roll.
Very good. That's what we want to hear.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And I want to thank everyone that came to today's talk forum, okay, with me here. And I'm very, very happy. I think it's getting better and better each time. And I hope that to meet us all back very, very soon. I will also be, keeping the announcements for the people of the project. We're going to be a busy week for you guys who submitted your projects, last weekend, by next week. And tomorrow I will be having a little bit of a rest day because of my operation. But after that, I hope I will be back in full swing again. And I really want everyone to say the prayers for Ron to get well too. Yeah. And also I want to thank everyone that came here, and please engage with our team to see how we can do to make this, you guys a part of the True Vision of Peace TV. And I want to thank everyone who came here today. It was lovely to meet you all. And I'm really, really excited to see that there's so many bright and positive people on the planet here that wants the best for humanity, and that is really, really make my hard work and struggle feeling that I have get some good fruits of that. And so I'm so very, very happy for that, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Ambassador. For facilitating any contact, my Skype address is modwiz125. MODWIZ125. If you put in a contact request to me, I will accept it. And this way here, you have a quick line to me. Sometimes checking emails, I try to keep all my email programs, but I have a few of them and some of them can't be open simultaneously. I can always have Skype open. And so if you need to, again, that's kind of like the quickest way sometimes to alert me, and we'll get networked as quickly as possible that way.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all. So thank you, Ambassador. It's always a pleasure to be in a meeting with you and hearing what you have to say.
The same, sir.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
I will
and see you back soon.